Most guys assume women are turned on by looks, money, or smooth talk, but the truth is, those things aren't what spark real attraction. There's something deeper, something subtle, and most men miss it completely. Here's the surprising part. What truly draws a woman in often has nothing to do with what you say or what you own. It's about the energy you bring, the way you carry yourself without trying too hard. Women respond to confidence, not arrogance, to calm leadership, not control, and to purpose, not pressure. She may never say it out loud, but when a man walks in with certainty, direction, and emotional control, she feels it. And that feeling is what flips the switch. In this video, I'll break down 5 key things that trigger that instant connection. They're simple, subtle, and powerful. And once you understand them, you'll stop chasing and start attracting. This isn't about manipulation. It's about mastering your presence. So if you're ready to unlock that quiet power she can't explain, keep watching. Confidence is attractive, sure, but detached confidence, that's something else entirely. It says without words, I want you, but I don't need you. And that simple sentence carries an energy that most men never tap into. It's a paradox. And paradoxes create tension, and tension is the spark of attraction. Now think of characters like James Bond or Tommy Shelby. They walk into a room and don't try to impress. They're not chasing anyone. Their confidence isn't loud. It's calm, almost indifferent. And that's exactly what makes people gravitate toward them. Because here's the truth. Most men chase. Most men overinvest. They try too hard, text too often, seek validation. But detached confidence flips the script. When a woman sees that, you're grounded, that you're not emotionally shaken by her presence, she feels something rare. She feels both safe and slightly challenged. That contrast is powerful. She's used to being the prize. Suddenly, she's wondering if you might be the one she needs to win over. Here's the psychological trigger. When you're not chasing, it creates scarcity. And the human brain is wired to desire what is scarce. So instead of flooding her with attention, you remain centered. You're warm but not needy, present but not desperate. You listen but don't try to impress. When a woman senses that you're whole with or without her, it forces her to wonder, why doesn't he chase me like the others? That curiosity becomes a pull, and that pull, not pressure, is what draws her in. Confident detachment is not about playing games. It's about becoming the type of man whose life is full, with or without her. You have goals, a mission, a routine that doesn't bend for anyone. That kind of stability is magnetic. Because deep down, what women find irresistible isn't perfection. It's presence, calm, grounded presence. So the next time you're around a woman you're interested in, slow down, breathe, speak less. Let her come to you. Let your energy do the talking. Because when you stop chasing, they start wondering. And in that space of wonder, attraction is born. Emotional control. Most men don't lose women because they lack money, looks, or charm. They lose women because they can't control their emotions. Let that sink in. You can say all the right things, wear the best clothes, take her to the nicest places. But if you crumble under pressure, if you get jealous, reactive, insecure, she'll start to pull away. Even if she doesn't understand why, emotional control is a quiet superpower. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. It's just there, solid, grounded, unshakable. When you keep your cool in situations that would rattle other men, she notices. And not just with her, but in life. Did your plans fall through? You adapt. Did someone insult you? You laugh it off. Did she test you with silence or attitude? You stay calm. You don't beg for validation. That kind of control doesn't just gain respect, it creates attraction. Because here's the truth, most women are emotionally intelligent. They feel before They think. So when they sense a man who can remain calm, composed, and kind, even under pressure, it tells them something powerful. It tells them this man is safe. Not in a boring way, but in a masculine, stable, trustworthy way. And here's where the magic happens. When you're emotionally steady, it makes her feel free to express herself without fear. She can be feminine, she can be soft, she can relax, because your emotional state doesn't depend on hers. That's extremely rare. Most guys mirror her energy. If she's cold, they panic. If she's distant, they chase. If she's upset, they get defensive. But when you remain emotionally sovereign, unshaken, it makes her feel something deeper than excitement. It makes her feel safe to fall for you. Now, let's be clear. Emotional control doesn't mean you suppress how you feel. It means you own your emotions. You don't react impulsively. You respond with awareness. There's a big difference. She doesn't want a robot. She wants a man who feels deeply, but who knows how to hold space for both of them. Think of emotional control as emotional leadership. You're leading the tone of the moment. You're not letting chaos dictate how you show up. And when she sees that you don't get thrown off balance by her mood, her silence, or even her drama, she feels drawn to you. Because now she knows you're not like the others. You're not shaken by emotion. You can carry it. That right there is rare. So if you want to turn women on without saying a word, work on this. Stay calm when others react. Speak gently when others raise their voice. Smile when most men would sulk. Lead when others follow the chaos. That's emotional power, and emotional power is magnetic. When you walk through life with emotional control, people trust you, respect. You and women are naturally drawn to you. You don't chase energy. You become the source of it, and that is unforgettable. Purpose-driven presence. There's a certain kind of man who walks into a room and immediately changes the atmosphere. Not because he's loud, not because he's flashy, but because he's locked in. He's not scanning the room for attention. He's not trying to impress anyone. He's fully present because his mind isn't cluttered with insecurity or neediness. Why? Because he's driven by purpose. Let's be real. Most men aren't grounded. They're lost in distractions, scrolling, chasing women, trying to look successful instead of being successful. But a man with purpose doesn't need to seek validation. His mission already gives him meaning, and that is insanely attractive. Why? Because purpose creates direction, and direction creates confidence. You're no longer waiting for something to happen, you're building something. And when you live with that kind of focus, it radiates in your body language, your energy, your voice. You become unshakable. And women notice a man on a mission triggers something primal in a woman. She sees him as a leader, as someone she can trust, follow, support, and be inspired by. But here's the twist. Most men abandon their purpose the moment they like a woman. They cancel plans, they stop working, they break routine just to be available, and that instantly tells her, he doesn't have anything bigger than me in his life. And when that happens, the attraction begins to fade. The truth is, women don't want to be your purpose. They want to join a man who already has one. When she sees that you're passionate about something outside of her, whether it's your career, your art, your growth, she leans in. Because now you're not chasing her, you're chasing greatness. And that creates emotional gravity. So how do you build this? You start by making your mission non-negotiable. Whether it's building a business, becoming stronger, mastering your craft, or living with discipline, stick to it. And don't break that rhythm for attention. Purpose doesn't mean you don't care about her. It means you care about where you're going, and you're inviting her into that journey, not getting lost in hers. When you stay on purpose, even in the face of distraction, you become rare. You become the man who can walk away, not out of ego, but out of principle. And that's powerful, because here's the secret. She'll test you. She'll try to pull your focus. Not to sabotage you, but to see if your purpose is real. If you stay grounded, She respects you more. If you fold, she loses interest, slowly, quietly. So choose purpose. Live like a man who has something bigger to build, and let her be the bonus, not the blueprint, because when you lead with direction, she wants to follow. And when you live with purpose, you no longer chase attraction, you become it. Masculine. Mystery. There's something about a man you can't fully read, a man who doesn't reveal every thought, every plan, or every feeling. That kind of man. He drives women wild. Why? Because mystery is magnetic. It creates curiosity, and curiosity creates tension, and tension is the oxygen of attraction. Let's break this down. Most guys are too eager to explain themselves. They overshare, they overtalk. They lay everything out to impress her, but in doing that, they kill the intrigue. Women aren't attracted to a man who gives away his whole story in one conversation. They're attracted to the man who gives her just enough to stay thinking about him after he's gone. The man who answers questions with a smile and silence. The man who says little, but means a lot. When she doesn't know exactly how you feel or where she stands with you, she leans in. She thinks about you when you're not around. She starts to chase your attention because you're not giving it away carelessly. That's the power of masculine mystery. Now hear this clearly. Being mysterious doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean being rude or distant. It means being intentional with your words, being unpredictable in your responses, and leaving just enough unsaid to keep her guessing. Think of it like music. It's not just the notes that create the melody, it's the spaces in between. Likewise, it's not what you say that draws her in, it's often what you don't say. When you stop over-explaining, she starts over-analyzing, and in that space of analysis, attraction grows. Here's where most men mess up. They think being open is the same as being honest, but mystery doesn't mean dishonesty. It means depth. It means you don't need to be fully understood in one moment. You let her earn the deeper layers of you, and that earning builds value. If she learns everything about you on day one, there's no challenge. But if you reveal pieces, over time, slowly, naturally, it makes every interaction feel like discovery. She begins to anticipate the next time you'll open up. She watches for clues. She invests, because now she's emotionally hooked. So, how do you become more mysterious? Talk less. Mean more. Let your actions speak. Give unpredictable answers. Don't always be available. Keep some things to yourself, not to hide, but to hold power. Remember, mystery isn't manipulation. It's restraint, it's confidence, it's knowing. That silence often speaks louder than noise. And here's the truth. A man who holds back just enough becomes unforgettable. Because when you reveal everything too quickly, she appreciates nothing. But when you reveal yourself strategically, in layers, she feels like she's uncovering treasure. So stop trying to explain your value. Be valuable, be present, be deep. Be intentional and let her wonder, who is he really? That question is the hook. And once it's in her mind, you're already unforgettable. Emotional control. There's one trait that separates men she forgets from men she obsesses over. It's not looks, it's not money, it's not charm. It's emotional control. Because here's the truth. A man who cannot control his emotions becomes a slave to them. And a man who's a slave to his emotions, he's unstable, unpredictable, easy to manipulate. But a man who masters his emotions, that man is a storm with a calm center. That man is rare, and women can feel it. Let's talk about the reality most men don't realize. When you lose your cool, when you lash out, overreact, get jealous, or start arguing emotionally, you're not showing passion, you're showing weakness. She sees a man who can be pushed off center too easily, and that doesn't make her feel safe. That doesn't create attraction. It creates pressure. It creates fear. It creates doubt. When you respond with composure, even When provoked, she looks at you differently because you're not just reacting like every other guy, you're leading. With calm, with confidence, and with discipline. Think of emotional control like a muscle. It's not about suppressing what you feel, it's about choosing how you respond. And the strongest men don't need to yell to be heard. They don't need to prove their point in every argument. They don't chase drama, they navigate it. Yes, sometimes she'll push your buttons. She'll test your patience. She'll challenge your strength, not because she wants chaos, but because she wants to know, can this man lead himself even when I can't? If you pass that test, silently, gracefully, confidently, you instantly rise in her mind. You become the man she can trust. Not just in good times, but in storms. Not just when things are smooth, but when life shakes the ground. And guess what? Every man has moments where he wants to explode. But what separates men of impact is that they don't. They breathe. They observe. They respond on their terms because they know control isn't weakness, control is power. When she throws emotion at you and you don't flinch, she feels more secure and more attracted. So what does emotional control look like day to day? You don't beg for her validation. You don't react to every message, every mood, every shift. You don't make her your emotional thermostat. You lead with stability. And when you do, she stops testing and starts trusting. She relaxes into your presence, and the attraction deepens, not because you're cold, but because you're centered. If you want to be unforgettable, stop chasing emotional highs. Become the man who brings emotional peace. Because in a world full of men reacting, the one who remains composed, that's the one she can't stop thinking. About sexual polarity, now here's where things get really interesting. The invisible force that pulls a woman in closer, that makes her heart race and her mind spin. It's called sexual polarity. Sexual polarity is the natural attraction between masculine and feminine energy. It's the electric charge you feel when opposite energies meet. When you embrace your masculine energy fully, without apology or hesitation, you create a magnetic force that women are instinctively drawn to. But what does that really mean? It's not about being aggressive or overbearing. It's about being strong yet vulnerable, confident yet kind, decisive yet attentive. Women are wired to be attracted to a man who embodies this balance. A man who leads but also listens. A man who takes action but knows when to pause. A man who is grounded in himself yet tuned into her feelings. Here's why polarity works so well. It creates dynamic tension. It keeps things exciting, unpredictable, and alive. Without polarity, attraction fades into comfort, and comfort can kill desire. Imagine a dance where both partners move in sync, but with different steps. That's polarity in action. It's a push and pull, a giving and receiving, a balance of energies that keeps her emotionally and physically hooked. When you lean into your masculine energy and allow her to express her feminine energy, she feels safe, understood, and wanted, all at the same time. So how do you build this polarity in real life? First, know your boundaries. A man who respects himself sets clear limits. He doesn't let her walk all over him, but he doesn't control her either. He leads with integrity, not ego. Second, show your purpose. A man with a mission who pursues goals passionately becomes instantly attractive. Purpose signals strength and stability, which are core components of masculine energy. Third, be emotionally available, but not emotionally needy. Share your feelings when it counts, but don't drown her in drama or insecurity. Emotional availability creates connection. Needy desperation kills attraction. Fourth, use your physical presence. Good posture, calm body language, and a grounded voice all communicate masculinity powerfully. These nonverbal cues send signals her subconscious picks up immediately. Here's the key: you don't have to be perfect. Real masculinity isn't about being flawless. It's about being authentic, being real, owning your strengths and accepting your flaws. Because true sexual polarity comes from authenticity. When you're genuine, you stop trying to perform or impress. You simply are. And that presence, it's magnetic. She senses your authenticity, and that alone is enough to spark a powerful attraction. Let's bust a myth. You might think being masculine means always being tough or stoic. But sexual polarity thrives on balance. It thrives on the dance of strength and softness, power and tenderness. When you can be strong and vulnerable, you open the door for deeper intimacy. You invite her to be herself fully, without fear or judgment. That's what turns women on instantly, but she often won't say it. If you want to turn attraction into a lasting connection, focus on embracing your masculine energy authentically, with strength, purpose, emotional balance, and respect. Because sexual polarity is not just chemistry. It's a powerful force that, when understood and embodied, makes you unforgettable. So there you have it, the 5 powerful secrets that turn women on instantly, but she won't tell you. From confident detachment and emotional control to mastering sexual polarity, these aren't just tricks, they're foundations of real attraction that last. Remember, it's not about changing who you are. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, strong, calm, authentic, and purposeful. When you embrace these qualities, women don't just notice you, they feel you. They want to be around you. They want to trust you. And yes, they want you. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on attraction, confidence, and relationships. Got questions? Drop them in the comments below. I read everyone. And if you want me to dive deeper into any of these topics or share personal stories that show these principles in action, let me know. Thanks for watching, and remember, true attraction starts with you. See you in the next video.